Hey, what's up, Skywalker with Imagination Creation Films, and today we're taking a look at the new Amaran 200xS and 100xS, and one thing's for sure, content creators will measure success with XS. XS, get it? So we'll get into the review here in just a minute, but before I do a little housekeeping, Aputure did send these lights to me for review, but as always, no money has changed hands, and they have no say-so in the review whatsoever, so you know, if you respect that, subscribe, please. And yeah, these are the Amaran 200xS and the 100xS lights. And the X versions are the bicolor versions. Now, I do review a variety of products on here for a variety of purposes, and I like to think of it as elevating some products above their intention and, well, lowering others below their mark, and showing a multitude of varying solutions to accomplish basically the same thing. Now, Amaran is not a pro-level lighting company. They're a minimum necessary lighting company. Now, minimum necessary doesn't mean junk. It just means very few bells and whistles. And while some companies just build a light and call it good, Amaran does spend a good deal of time making sure that the light is good for its intention. And in the case of the S versions, upgrading. So you could use these lights on professional shoots, but you may not find that they hold up well to the day-to-day uses. But these do happen to work really well for one main purpose: small studio lights. And I use the term studio very fluidly here because, well, they're geared more towards the home studio content creator, etc. Small, easy to use lighting. So let's talk about the bells and whistles that they do have. These are the 200 watt and 100 watt bicolor lights respectively, meaning the 200 watt light will have approximately 100 watts of tungsten and 100 watts of daylight color LEDs in here. And then the 100xS will have half of that. Now, the daylight versions will give you basically twice the power output of these at daylight, but the XS's will give you the ability to match your varying lighting conditions, which is something more common in homes and offices and home studios, etc. So I chose to review the XS's, the bicolors of these lights. So the color temperature range is between 2700 and 6500, which you can quickly scroll through just by touching it. So it covers a little more than just tungsten and a little more than just daylight. As far as brightness, I measured the 200 here at 36,000 lux at 1 meter. Using this hyper reflector at 5600K. Let's turn that on, turn it down a little bit. Now the reflector does have a hot spot, which you can kind of see here. So be prepared for that. The good news is that so many of you are going to be using it with a softbox anyway. More on that later. Now, the biggest change Amaran has done with the S versions of these lights is to update the LEDs to a new dual blue LED chipset, which basically means they changed the type of LEDs behind the phosphor to a higher grade of LED that fills in the color spectrum much better, which allows it to achieve a quality of white light that's as good or as close to as good as their bigger brother's lights, Aputure. And in my testing, I can agree that the quality of light is very nice. It's not perfect, but it's darn close. And just for good measure, the last few videos and live streams have all been using these lights. Not exclusively, there's still other lights in here, but they interchanged quite nicely, and no one noticed at all. The 100xS has been my key, and the 200 has been my window light there. And currently, the 100 is my key. And this just sits right here for this. Now, power is via a power brick, and that hasn't changed. The 200's brick is obviously bigger than the 100's. So the build quality of these lights are pretty much, yeah, okay. There's a lot of plastic and a little bit of metal, but not necessarily where it counts. And that's why I say these are best used in the home or studio and not moved too much, small studio, as you really could break something. Now, I'm not saying that they're flimsy or easy to break or junk. I'm just saying they aren't built grip truck tough, so they won't handle a ton of abuse. Now, the controls are very basic. You can adjust the brightness, you can adjust the color temperature, and then there's a Bluetooth reset button, and then there's a power switch. That's it. That's all you can do from the head. Now, when you use the CineSlink app, you can access all the gels, lighting effects, and more. Anything that the light is capable of reproducing, you can do with CineSlink, and that just gives you a little more power in the palm of your hand. Now, these are the basic do the things you need affordably lights. And if you're a content creator looking to take your lighting to the next level, this is where you would look without spending a ton of money. Now, the 200xS bicolor comes at a price of only $349. The daylight only version of the 200, which is about twice as bright, comes in at $299. The 100xS is only $249 for the bicolor, and the daylight only, which is about twice as bright, is only $199. They also offer these in 65 watt versions as well for $199 and $169 respectively. Now, I chose the 200xS and the 100xS because, well, they'll give you the most flexibility and control in a wide variety of conditions. Pair these with the Aputure Light Dome 2, or if you're really trying to stretch your dollar, the Aputure 6090 light box, which is only $66. Now, stretch is a fun choice of words because the 6090 is a very simple, budget-friendly softbox, and it's almost infuriating to build. It's a standard 4-rod design, but those can be quite frustrating to set up. Now, I own many soft boxes, and for whatever reason, this one is really tight compared to the others. Now, you need to stretch the fabric quite a bit, get it really tight, and then bend the rods a lot, so then it just magically works. And if you're in a home studio, you just leave it built and enjoy. It's super fast to install since these lights all use the standard Bowens mount. And the 6090 actually, it has a bunch of features for $66, including layers of diffusion and even a soft grid to control the light even more. So it's give and take. The good news is for less than $700, you can get a really nice soft key light and a hair light with a little change to spare. That includes a softbox, so that makes it really worth looking at. So what are the pros and cons? Well, pros. Much cleaner white light spectrum, much more pleasing to the eyes and on the skin. The 100 is right here just cranking away, and it's, I believe, at 12% for my set here. So it's not that bad. And it looks quite nice. This is a pimple, so it doesn't look quite nice, but the rest of it falls off nicely. It is going through a 4x4 half grid. Now, another pro is CineSlink control. You can remotely control your lights easily. And all the features you need are at a very affordable price. Now, what are the cons? Well, the fans run all the time. They aren't loud. In fact, they're quite quiet. But I like a light that, sleeps almost completely when off. Sure, these do have a power switch, but then you'd lose the CineSlink ability to turn them on remotely, so yeah. Another con, no case. They just come in a box. Another reason not to carry them to too many places. And last con, plastic, mostly, yeah. You have to cut costs somewhere, so plastic is everywhere. So what do you think about these lights? Are they something you're interested in? Are you trying to up your game a little and want to use these to take it to the next level? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts as well. And if you found this video useful, I'd love it if you subscribed, and even more if you became a channel member of the community, because it's a great way to support the channel and our mission to help filmmakers from all over the world Just be a little bit better. And as always, as I like to leave it, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions.